One of these movies made history by winning more Oscars than almost any film ever. Another got snubbed so hard, it still pisses people off decades later. And the latest entry? It just broke into the most elite club in Oscar history. Here's the full list. Catherine Zeta-Jones and Renee Zellweger go head-to-head as two fame-hungry murderesses, with Richard Gere's slick-talking lawyer pulling the strings. It landed 13 Oscar nominations, the most of any film at the 75th Academy Awards, and walked away with Best Picture, the first musical to win since Oliver in 1968. But Chicago wasn't just a critical darling, it was a box office powerhouse, grossing over $300 million worldwide. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Madonna was originally set to star, but walked away over creative differences. Charlize Theron was also attached but got dropped when the studio pivoted to bigger names. Studios didn't even want to make Forrest Gump. The script got passed around for years, with Warner Brothers straight up dropping it. Then Tom Hanks came in, took a pay cut, and the rest is history. It became one of the biggest movies of the 90s, raking in over $678 million. Hanks's performance sealed the deal, Best Actor win, making him only the second guy in history to win back-to-back Oscars after Spencer Tracy. Out of 13 nominations, Forrest Gump took home 6 wins over some heavyweight competition like Pulp Fiction and The Shawshank Redemption. This is the movie that broke the Oscars. It had 13 nominations, 7 wins, and a Best Picture win over Saving Private Ryan. And that last one? That's where the controversy starts. Miramax and Harvey Weinstein launched a full-scale awards campaign that changed the way Oscar races are fought. Even Spielberg later admitted he felt blindsided by how hard Miramax campaigned. It paid off. Shakespeare in Love took home 7 Oscars. But the backlash was brutal. People still argue that Saving Private Ryan was robbed, and Weinstein's shady tactics have overshadowed Shakespeare in Love ever since. Even Academy voters have admitted they regret their decision. Oppenheimer wasn't just a movie, it was an event. Christopher Nolan goes all in on the story of J. Robert Oppenheimer, the man who built the atomic bomb, with Cillian Murphy giving a career-defining performance. This thing dominated the box office for a 3-hour R-rated historical drama, pulling in nearly $1 billion. That's unheard of. Then came awards season where it locked in 13 Oscar nominations including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Supporting Actor. Ended up taking 7 wins including Best Picture and Best Director, finally giving Nolan his long-overdue Oscar. The biggest surprise of the 2024 Cannes Film Festival. Nobody saw Emilia Pérez coming, but Jacques Audiard's crime-drama musical hybrid stunned critics and walked away with the Grand Prix. And now, just like Nolan's Oppenheimer last year, it's leading the Oscar race with 13 nominations, having pissed off a lot of people in the process. The film follows a cartel leader who undergoes gender transition surgery while on the run, stepping into a new life as Emilia Perez. Heading into the Oscars, Emilia Perez is up for Best Picture, Best Director, and multiple acting categories. Frank Sinatra practically had to beg for his role as Maggio. Studio execs didn't want him, but his wife, Ava Gardner, pulled strings behind the scenes and the rest is history. The Godfather wasn't joking. This was the real-life offer he couldn't refuse. The film follows 3 U.S. Army soldiers stationed in Hawaii right before Pearl Harbor, caught in a whirlwind of love, betrayal, and tragedy. It landed 13 Oscar nominations and won 8, including Best Supporting Actor for Sinatra. Sinatra's win completely revived his career, turning him from a washed-up singer into an Oscar-winning actor overnight. The biggest movie of its time, and one of the most controversial of all time. Gone with the Wind took home 8 Oscars out of its 13 nominations, including Best Picture, Best Actress for Vivien Leigh, and Best Director. It also made history. Hattie McDaniel became the first Black actor to win an Oscar. The film romanticizes the Old South and whitewashes slavery, making it one of the most debated films in Hollywood history. HBO Max even temporarily pulled it from their platform, later adding a disclaimer about its historical context. Still, for better or worse, Gone with the Wind was the biggest box office hit adjusted for inflation, $3.4 billion, and the longest Best Picture winner ever at 238 minutes. Before Titanic, before La La Land, All About Eve was the first film to land 14 Oscar nominations. A shark of a movie about Broadway ambition, backstabbing, and ruthless career climbing. Bette Davis plays an aging Broadway legend who takes in a seemingly sweet fan, Eve Harrington, who turns out to be a master manipulator dead set on replacing her. At the 23rd Academy Awards, the film cleaned up, winning 6 Oscars. And it was a historic night for women. 2 Best Actress nominations, Bette Davis and Anne Baxter, and 2 Best Supporting Actress nominations, Celeste Holm and Thelma Ritter, from the same film. La La Land was built for Oscar Gold, a romantic musical about Hollywood starring Hollywood's golden duo. The Academy couldn't resist. It dominated awards season, racking up 14 Oscar nominations, tying Titanic and All About Eve for the most in history. Out of those, it won 6, including Best Director for Damien Chazelle, making him the youngest winner ever at 32. Chazelle fought studios for 6 years to get the film made, and it finally paid off. A 3-hour, $200 million epic that everyone thought was going to bomb. James Cameron went so far over budget the media started calling it Cameron's Folly. Studio execs were panicking, the crew hated working on it, but Cameron refused to back down. And then it hit theaters. $2.2 billion at the box office. 11 Oscar wins. Cameron screaming, "I'm the king of the world," on stage. At the 70th Academy Awards, Titanic tied the all-time record for most nominations with 14 and won 11. Nobody's topped it since,